kick it off. Good morning. Thanks everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend our TechXpert series webinar featuring Lutron. My name is Marie Young, Marketing and Communications Manager at Crescent Electric, and this is Abby Birch, our Marketing Project Manager. Our TechXpert marketing campaign is designed to highlight our top-notch service and our expertise that our Technical Support Center offers through a series of training webinars, short tech tip videos, blog articles, and great social media. So today we'll be hearing from Matthew Kurtz, and we'll be discussing Smart Light Control by Caseta. Also, just so you know, this session will be recorded for your reference later on. And if you have any questions at all throughout this presentation, just go ahead and type them into the chat. It's on the toolbar below. And in the meantime, you will be muted throughout the presentation. All right, Matthew, you ready to go?
I am.
All right, thanks.
Hopefully everyone can hear me. So thank you, Marie. Thank you, Abby, and to the whole Crescent team. We really appreciate the time here today. First, I would be remiss to say I didn't, want to make sure everyone is safe and their families are safe and healthy and during these crazy times we have. So we appreciate the time you're taking out today. So a couple of things. One, make sure you stay till the end of the call to have an opportunity to get some Crescent cash to purchase some of these Lutron Caseta kits with. So look for some information on that at the end. Also at the end, we'll have some opportunities for some questions if we miss anything or you want to ask me any questions after this is over. Also, there's an opportunity to answer some questions to potentially win some of these free Caseta kits as well. So with that, just wanted to talk a little bit about the residential market. The residential market right now is booming, I'll say, right? So that business is very, very, growing at a fast clip right now. So it's a really good opportunity to go after that business, and specifically on the smart home side of that business, really the intelligent side, home automation, that really is even growing at a faster pace. So there's really 6 areas that we wanted to talk about that we see as a great opportunity to solve a homeowner's problem for issues that they're having today and to become a more profitable business. So one is really the ability to add a point of control from anywhere in your home. And then we'll dive into each of these a little bit more in a minute, right? Second, we see is bedside convenience. What can you do, before you go to bed to make your life a little bit easier and more convenient? 3, outdoor timers, right? As people are adding lights and controls to the house, they want an outside timer that works really, really well. 3 are scenes and voice control. Voice control continues to be a fast growing opportunity in the marketplace. We'll talk about how this can help you with that. 5 is automation and smarter way, make your home look like it's lived in. And the last piece is really hands-free control. So with that, let's walk through each of these for a minute, right? So 1, add a point of control from anywhere. And within all of these, we're going to talk about some of these kits that I have here. And each of these kits will allow you to do some of these things easily and quickly, right? 1 is you want to add a point of control from anywhere. So one of the ways you could do that is through one of these wireless Picos. I apologize if that's not really that clear to see, a little pale here, but this wireless Pico is a great Lutron product that you can take and actually put on a stand by your bedside, which we'll talk about more, or behind one of our standard face plates. So when you get a call from a consumer that says, hey, I want to add a point of control literally on this armoire, or I want to add a 3-way solution in another space, how do you do that, right? So with this wireless Pico, you can literally press and hold this for 6 seconds and press and hold any one of our dimmers or plug-in modules for 6 seconds, and it will allow you to control that light really from anywhere in the house. So I actually took this one and I pre-programmed it a minute ago, but literally this is a plug-in module or plug-in device. You press and hold this for 6 seconds, press and hold this for 6 seconds, and this will actually turn this light on. And the beauty of this is really this kind of wireless virtual 3-way. I just put this Pico in behind one of our Claro face plates. And in this case, I have a little bit of a sticky tape on the back here, and I'm actually going to install a Pico anywhere, right? So just right now, I have a wireless Pico on my wall that I can control my lamps with. I could do this in a 3-way application. And several of our new kits are actually what we're calling wireless 3-way kits. So this is a switch version of a wireless 3-way kit, and this will come with a dimmer or a switch. There's two versions, a faceplate and this little wireless Picot, so you can install this. So one kit, one SKU, and this will give you all of the parts and pieces you need. And this is the dimmer version of this as well. So the sum of these kits, or the sum of the parts in the kit, tend to be less than the parts themselves. So great opportunity to do this. Really, really easy solution. The second thing we'll talk about really is bedside convenience. So that same Picot I put in the wall, I have programmed to this device right here. So you can see that lamp is a little glary, but there's a dimmer on the wall, and that's turning on and off. So the other opportunity is to take this Picot and put it in a little stand here, and that could actually go by your bedside on your family room table. And what happens at the end of the night? You're ready to go to bed, and you're arguing with your wife and say, who's going to turn out all of the lights? Well, I'll do that. I'm just going to hit my little Picot here, and that will actually turn off my lights. This literally can be a marriage saver. No arguments when you're ready to go to bed. Turn the lights on and off, turn them on and here. Really, really easy to do. So those are great, easy solutions. Again, there's kits available for each of these. And you don't really need any intelligence. It's very easy, quick button press programming. If you want to get a more intelligent system, what you're going to want to do is add one of these wireless bridges, right? This is a bridge or a gateway. You plug this into your router, you download a free app, and now you can add some intelligence to your system. And this is really important for outdoor timers. This is a kit here that has a switch in there and the bridge in there. And I don't know how well you can see that on the picture here, but when you download that free app will now allow you to set a time clock for all of your exterior lights. And the beauty of setting that time clock for your exterior lights is that you could set that based on time of day or astronomical time clock. So for me at my house, I have my lights go on 5 minutes before the sun sets. I have them dimmed to about 50% at 1 in the morning and then turn off at sunrise. Adjust automatically with daylight saving. So I never touch my outside lights because they only go on when the sun goes down, and then they turn off when the sun goes up. You lose power to your system, it doesn't matter. Once that power comes back, the system will remember that. So a much, much better way to do a time clock function. And again, one part number, one SKU is going to give you the bridge, and there's a dimmer version and a switch version, and allow you to do that. One of the things just to keep in mind with this system is it's also scalable. So I can start with my Picot and my lamp dimmer, and then I can actually build this system up over time. So once I start that, I can add this and do this over time. So I don't have to just do the system, once and then be done, right? I could add more time. One of the other great things is once you get that app, we would call it scenes and voice control. So within this app, and I'm going to turn a couple of these lights on here. Oh, turn this one over here. Within the app, I can create scenes. Very easy, very self-explanatory how to do that. And in this case, I can do a scene for a number of different things. One, I can do them if I want to have a scene for dining or a scene for watching a movie. But in this case, I have good night. So on my phone, I can just hit good night, and that's going to turn my lights off automatically. So a great little scene that, I also have that bedside convenience with my little Picot here, but I can add a scene control in there as well. So I can actually turn my lights on and off, and I could adjust that, add dimming to them, add multiple lights to them as well. The other great thing for us is really voice control. Voice control continues to grow. So really any of the voice control systems out there, whether it's Siri, Google Home, Samsung SmartThings, we integrate with all of them. And there's one here. So I created a scene in here I call Party. So I'm going to show you that, and hopefully this will work here. So Alexa, turn on Party. So okay, it worked. There we go. Listen. So now you can see I turned my lights on to multiple different levels. So through my voice control there. But the other thing, I'll be quiet for a second. If you can hear that, I also added Sonos in there. So I made the ability for my scene, not only just to control my lights, I'm going to turn my good night back to turn that glare off again, but I added the ability to turn on Sonos, right? So we can do integration as well. So that takes me to one of my next points there, right? So we can integrate with a lot of different things. This one here happens to be a Sonos speaker, which allows me to create a scene like I just did for that party, turn my lights on to multiple different levels, and tie some music in there as well. I could do that if I was in the dining room and I said, you know, turn on dine, and I could dim my lights and have a different set of music on there, really. So we really have very open integration. Pretty much anything that you can think of, we will integrate with. One of our newest integration partners that we're pretty excited about is Ring Doorbell. So now you can take your Ring Doorbell and integrate that with the Lutron system as well. And one of the ways it does that is if you can set this, you know, the functionality there. So if it sees someone walk by and it's dark outside, it can automatically turn on some lights. Or if you go up there and you press that Ring Doorbell and you're not home, you can have it turn the lights on. So that way, you know, it seems like someone's at home, right? Not only can you hear or see through your Ring Doorbell, but it's going to turn those lights on to give your house really that lived in lived in look, right? So someone's going to not stay at your house. They're going to go to their neighbors next door because they sense that you're home in that space. We also have built into this app something we call Smart Away. So a lot of the time clocks people have today are very stagnant. Turn a light on at 6 o'clock, turn a light off at 8 o'clock. You know, if you all remember, it's the holiday time of the year. What's one of the movies I love to watch this time of year is Home Alone. So Home Alone, if you remember, the two guys, the robbers, were sitting, the wet bandits, at the in their truck, and they had their watch, and they knew when everyone's light went on based on, because they've been watching it, right? So they know the Smith's light went on at 7 o'clock, and the next door neighbor went on at 7:15. The Smart Away feature in our app will basically allow you to say, when you're away, I want you to randomly turn on lights in my house to different levels, to different times of the day. So if someone was out watching your house, you know, Thursday at 7:30, a light's going to go on to 50%, but on Friday, a different light's going to go on to 100%. So it really gives you, again, that lived-in feel, that lived-in look, so people aren't going to really see or know that there was someone into that space. And the last thing we'll talk about here is hands-free control. So that can really happen a couple different ways. One of the ways is through a new wireless sensor that we have, right? So this is a battery-operated wireless sensor. There's a battery in here. And what this will allow you to do is put this wireless sensor in the system and actually add this, whether you want to put it in your mud room or a powder room or a basement, will allow you to have hands-free control. So, you know, in today's world, what do we do? Or, you know, I do, you come home after you've been out and you wash your hands, but you don't really want to touch all the light switches in your house. So I have this set by my door. When I walk in, my light's going to automatically turn on. I can go wash my hands. So I don't have to touch things in my house. So sensors are a great way to do hands-free control. Another great feature for this is kids who don't turn their lights off, right? So if your kids forget to turn their lights off, and it doesn't sense motion for a period of time, this will do that automatically. Put this in the basement, right? Kids are always down in the basement leaving their lights on. So this can be down there, and you can say after 30 minutes, if you don't see any motion, turn your lights off, right? So not only is this hands-free control, it's also a good energy saver. The other feature the app has is something we call geofencing. And geofencing will allow you to basically say in your app, on your phone, typically when you have your phone with you, when you get within a certain range of your house, you can tell it to turn certain lights on and off. So instead, if you don't want the sensor when you walk in, you could just say, when I come within 400 feet of my house and it's dark outside, I want you to turn these certain lights on or off. And that way, you know, you could walk into your house and it's never a dark house. You're never walking into a dark house. So your light's going to turn on automatically. But if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it's really bright outside, you don't need that to happen. So the system's smart enough to say, only turn my lights on when it's dark out. The other nice thing that the geofencing will do is as you leave your house, if you left some lights on, it'll just send you a note. And if you have an Apple Watch or your phone, it could send you a little text message to say, hey, Matt, you left your house on, you left your dining room lights on. Do you want to leave them on or do you want to turn them off? And you can just turn that on or off from your watch or from your phone. So that geofencing is a really great feature. A couple other things to point out here, both on the sensor and on the wireless Picot, as these are controlled, you can see there's no wires here. So these are battery operated devices. So they will come with a battery. If you need to replace it at some point, they're a standard battery. but we have a 10-year battery life on all of these devices that have batteries in there. So my switch I added to the wall over here, or my dimmer, that's got a 10-year life on that battery. Pretty standard, easy batteries to replace when you're done. So you can do that 10-year life on there. So a couple other things. This device, this bridge, once you add that, you can have 75 devices on your system. So like I said, you could start with just one of the kits, right? Again, the kit has really 3 devices in there. It's got a bridge, a larger house. We just came out too with a bridge repeater. So you can add a repeater there to extend this wireless signal a little bit further. So I think with that, we'll just, again, what are some of our highlights that we hit? One was really, again, add that point of control from anywhere in the space, right? So if that customer says, I need a wireless 3-way, instead of running wire and conduit all through the house, you could replace this switch or dimmer in the wall, just add a wireless Picot. Now I have 3-way control. Great opportunity to, as a contractor, to be able to offer that to your homeowner and be able to make some more money. And it's a really great service. And it's a lot easier than cutting holes in the wall, pulling wire or conduit. If nothing else you take out of this, I would recommend going to Crescent and buying many of these kits. Again, there's a switch version and a dimmer version. Has all the parts and pieces that you need to be able to do that. Again, this is the 3-way dimming version of this, right? So bedside convenience, again, great opportunity to add this wireless Picot to your bedside to be able to turn those lights on and off. Outdoor timer, right? What happens this time of year? It gets darker much earlier. And I know based on my astronomical time clock, I've set up my house that my lights are always going to go on when the sun sets. Scenes and voice control. Again, whether you're Siri, Google Home, or I could say, Alexa, turn on party. We could do that again, or we integrated that with our Sonos speaker there, although I didn't want to do it that time. But I could always go back to my app if it did not want to do that. One of my favorite bands, The Who's, coming on there, so always appreciate those guys. Automation and smart away, and then hands-free control. So great opportunity, great solution to have on your trucks to offer to homeowners as you're out. I actually had an electrician here at my house yesterday doing some work, and he said he loves Caseta, right? Because instead of putting a switch in or just even a basic dimmer, you can make your home smart ready, sell more and more of this, and become a more profitable business, right? And then, your consumers or your homeowners want this stuff. This stuff is continuing to grow. Whether it's the voice control I showed you here or other voice controls, there's millions and millions of these being sold. So if you walk into someone's house and you see a voice control, or you see a Ring doorbell, or they seem a little more tech savvy, this is a great product and solution for you to be promoting. And again, you can make some more money selling this than just putting a standard dimmer in. And the other thing we know is, once a consumer puts one of these wireless bridges in and they see what they can do on their smart device, we know that they're going to add more devices. So they may start with 2 or 3 devices, but once they see the power of this and see all of the things that you can do, they're going to come back and add more devices. So this is a great opportunity, not only to sell a customer something, but have them come back to you at a later date and say, hey, I want to add my dining room. I want to add some exterior lights. I want to add the kids' room upstairs. And then you'll find that, people are going to add to this more and more. So growing market, growing opportunity. We hope we hit, some scenarios that we see as opportunities for you to go out and present and to sell and make some money with easy solutions, easy kits. Again, because you're on the call today, hopefully some of that Crescent cash will enable you to utilize some of that from here. So with that, I think we're at about 20 minutes, Abby or Maria. I don't know if we have any questions that anyone has.
Yeah, we've had a couple questions come in. The first one would be, will this control a ceiling fan?
Great question. Absolutely. So I don't have that device here, but we do make a ceiling fan control. That's a great point. So looks similar to a dimmer, but it's a ceiling fan control. So you could tie that both not only to the app and have that set on a time clock or voice control, but this is a lighting Picot, but we actually have a fan control version of this Picot as well. And there's a little fan on there, a couple in my house. So the beauty of that is for my daughter, she loves her fan on. If she gets in bed or forgets that, she can take her fan control Picot at her bedside and turn that fan on and off, and actually at 4 speeds, right? So you got off, and then 4 additional speeds. And then because she has it on her bedside, you could also add it to the wall, right? And take a Picot with a fan control. So, 3-way or 4-way control with fans in the past could be a challenge, but with this device, you can have the fan control on the wall, you can have a fan control Picot and another Picot wall control to control that fan from multiple points.
Gotcha. Next question is, if you have a system set up for scene control, can you override it with a bedside Picot if you need to turn the lights back on after they were set to be turned off?
Absolutely. So, the scene controller or the device are always going to work with your last command. So if I turned on, in this case, I'll show you, I turned on my party scene, right? So I turn that party scene on, but I could go into a Picot and just turn one of my lights on or off. So I just turn that one off, and then I could turn this one off. So you're always going to have local control of your lights. So just because you turn on a scene is not going to stop you from having local control. And just reminds me another thing, the system's smart, and because we have a dimmer in the wall here, the beauty is that this dimmer is operating. And even if I unplugged my bridge, or I lost my Wi-Fi connection, your dimmer switch is always going to work, right? You're not going to lose control of that if you lose Wi-Fi. And there are certainly some systems out there that rely on the Wi-Fi. So in this case, my Picot and my dimmer will still work even if I lose Wi-Fi or some reason, the router the bridge gets unplugged.
Great. And does Lutron have a smart home certification for contractors?
We do. That's a great question. I wouldn't necessarily call it a certification, but we have a Lutron Pro program, which does train contractors to sell this system, gets access to new innovations, to new products, could utilize the Lutron Pro logo. I would reach back out to Crescent to get more details on that, and we'll make sure you'll get more details. So the Lutron Pro residential program, opportunity to get trained, list them on our website and get some opportunity to get some leads and some visibility out there. So that's absolutely a great program. I want to make sure we get more details on that.
Okay, great. Next question is, are these ZWave controlled, and can it be integrated with Total Connect 2.0 app?
Good question. So we do not use ZWave. We use Lutron's proprietary, what we call Clear Connect technology. So Lutron has been in the wireless lighting control business for, I think, probably 25 to 30 years. Lutron Clear Connect is, not to get overly technical, but at 434 megahertz FM. So it's a very low frequency, a low bandwidth that is ultra reliable. We literally have millions and millions of wireless devices installed, not only over the US, but all over the world. So the Clear Connect technology we use is very robust, and we know it's going to work. It works 100% of the time. No interference with, you're at that Z-Wave, you're at the same wavelength as your routers and your Bluetooth and your microwave ovens and baby monitors. And what we don't want to happen is when I want to turn my lights on or off, I want to be 100% confident that that's going to work and not have an issue of my daughter, 3 kids are watching Netflix now and the music's on, and, I'm getting interference from my neighbor. So we're very confident that that works, because we've been doing it for a long time. As for that app, I'm not familiar with that one. I'd have to look into that, but we have, a lot of different things that we do integrate with. So I'd have to look into that specific app you mentioned.
Okay, great. And then the next question is, can this be used in office settings such as a commercial application?
There's no reason it couldn't. We do have a switch that is 277. So most of these devices are 120 volts. We also have other wireless systems that are really designed for commercial spaces that are very similar and actually use, you know, the same Picot technology and the same wireless technology. We call it ZWave. So depending on the size of the office space, I mean, if it's a small, you know, professional, you know, lawyer, accountant, doctor's office, you could probably utilize Caseta in there. But if it's a larger space, we would recommend something called ZWave, which is basically a commercial version of this. You know, you can still have app control and app programming, and instead of this bridge, you have a larger, what we call hub. So we can get you some information on that, but there's no reason this can't, as long as it meets the requirements of under 75 devices. You know, there is a 277 volt switch, but most of it's 120 volts. And as long as the size restrictions work, you know, there's no reason to say you couldn't use it, but we have other solutions depending on the application.
Awesome, great. A couple other questions, and then we can wrap up. How do you pair a Picot with a dimmer, plug in, or switch?
So basically, and I'll unprogram this one right now because this one's programmed and it's working here. I'll just show you. So there's a way to, you know, factory default it. It's a secret thing I don't want to show anyone, but you'll see here. So if you have to unprogram something. So I just did a, you know, what we call an out of box on that. So the dimmer is still going to work, but right, there we go. So, but as you notice, this Picot was just controlling it. Now I'm turning it on and off. It's not. Okay. So what I do is I press and hold this button, and you can't really see it too well, but I'm going to press and hold this for 6 seconds. And what will happen is the LEDs on the side here are flashing. Again, sorry, you can't really see it. And then once I put that into programming mode after 6 seconds, I press and hold the bottom button on this Picot for 6 seconds until those lights start flashing a little bit faster. And then it will go up and down and turn on and off. And, you know, that's how I programmed that Picot to work with that, you know, very easily. And again, with an application like that or the wireless three-way, you don't need the bridge. I can just program that directly with the Picot, press and hold, very easy little solution there.
Perfect. Okay, last question that just came in is
Great
there a keypad application that can be used with Caseta?
So we do have what I'll call a Picot keypad. So again, I'm going to get a little close. I apologize, but this Picot, there you go. This Picot has what we call, it's a 3-button raise lower. So you got a off button on the top, an on button at the top, off at the bottom, a raise lower, and then a favorite. We do make some scene Picots, which I don't have one here handy. I apologize, but it's a 4-button scene Picot. So we'll do everything this is, and there's some pre-engraved Picots that we can get. So they act like a keypad, but they're still really a Picot. The short answer is we have a version of it. In some of our larger systems like Radio Route 2 or Homeworks, we have an engraved keypad. There is a version of a Picot keypad, and we could send you pictures of that, and it's in our latest Caseta literature.
Perfect, thank you. That's all the questions that came through. If anybody does have a last minute question, I did unmute all attendees, so if someone would like to ask a question, now's your chance. If not, we can wrap up today's session.
Did you want to run those questions by the group that I could chat in to win some free kits, Abby? I don't know if you wanted to do that or not.
Sorry, what was that, Matt?
So we had a couple questions if people could, that you could ask the audience that if they could answer, they could win some free kits. Whoever answered first. Or we could just find another way to give away a couple kits. It's the holiday time. I'm in a giving mood.
How about this? How about, why don't we take all the attendee list and let's do a random drawing.
That works for me.
All right, so we'll plug that into the random drawing app after. So we'll just take that list and we'll plug it into the app and we'll randomly, it's called random.org, and we'll randomly select how many winners, Matt?
3.
All right, awesome. Well, we have good chances here because we've only got 36 on the call, which actually is really good. Really appreciate everyone's time. If you earned a kit today, we will send you an email. We've got everybody's emails from your registrations. And I don't see any more questions, so I'm just going to go ahead and close it up. Thank you very much, Matt and Lutron, for sponsoring our
Thank you
TechXpert
so
webinar
much. I
series.
appreciate the time.
Thank you so much for everyone who spent the time to attend today, and make sure you check out our Facebook and LinkedIn accounts where you will be able to find our tech tip videos and blogs and other shareable content that you can share out with your customers. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yep, you too.